Your Excellencies, honored guests from 19 nations joining us on site and online, ladies and gentlemen, mabuhay. Time check, it's 9:30 in the morning. We would like to request our honored guests who are still outside, if you may kindly enter the hall now so we can begin shortly. One more time, we would like to invite our honored guests who are still outside the hall to kindly come inside the hall now. Kindly take your seats and relax. We will begin shortly. If you need a coffee, feel free to ask our staff. I hope you had a good sleep last night. How is everyone? I believe today will be a good day and hopefully it won't rain in the afternoon. So we can find time to enjoy this place. We can stroll around after the closing session. We have a lot of beautiful places in this Bonifacio Global City here in Taguig City. At this moment, kindly sit back, relax, and enjoy your coffee or tea. Have a pleasant morning. Our first session today, the speakers and commentators, if they are on site, we would like to check Dr. Cheng Banalit from Cambodia. Are you here, sir? Yes, good morning, sir. At this moment, we would like to check if our session 5, our first session today, from the speakers and commentators, if they are on site. We would like to, I hope you had a good sleep. Check last night. Dr. Cheng, we would like to double check from Australia, Professor Dr. Anu. Are you here, sir? Hello. Yes, good morning, sir. At this moment, we would like later. We would like to check Dr. Session 5 of first session today, from the speakers and commentators, if they are on site. I'd like to, I hope you had a good sleep. Check last night. Dr. Cheng, we would like to double check from Australia, Professor Dr. Honorable Seoul. Yes, at this moment, we would like later. We would like to check Dr. Session 5 of first session today, from the speakers and commentators, if they are on site. I'd like to, I hope you had a relaxed and check last night. request Dr. Honorable Seoul at this moment, we would like to participants are joining us online via Zoom page from the young Facebook staff. They are sit back, relax, and check for your night. This is what we like to also. We would like to request Dr. Honorable Seoul at this moment, we would like participants are joining us online via Zoom page from the young Facebook staff. They are sit back, relax, and check for your night. This is what we like to also. We would like to request Dr. Honorable Seoul at this moment, we would like participants are joining us online via Zoom page from the young Facebook staff. They are sit back, relax, and check for your night. This is what we like to also. We would like to request Dr. Honorable Seoul at this moment, we would like participants are joining us online via Zoom page from the young Facebook staff. They are sit back, relax, and check for your night. This is what we like to also. We would like to request Dr. Honorable Seoul at this moment, we would like participants are joining us online via Zoom page from the young Facebook staff. For your information, we're going to have 2 sessions in the morning, then we're going to take our lunch. There will be a coffee break in between sessions, and in the afternoon after lunch, we will resume with our closing session. Time check, it's 9:42 in the morning here in Manila. Ngayon yan. And now, we would like to announce to everyone that we will begin in few seconds. So we would like to request if you may take your seats. Our precious excellencies are now in the green room. They are having a video recording. They will join in a few minutes while our program is ongoing. Thank you for your patience. But so we will push ahead with our schedule. And now, Your Excellencies, honored guest from 19 nations, ladies and gentlemen, mabuhay. I hope that you had a good night sleep. I believe that yesterday's main and side events were meaningful, heartwarming, and exceptional, isn't it? I hope you have enjoyed yesterday's program. I am confident that today's events shall be equally brilliant and pleasing to all. I am Mr. Halipa, and it is my honor to serve as your in-house master of ceremony for today. Before we begin with our formal session, let us take this opportunity to kindly greet one another here on site and online. A pleasant morning. Let us greet each other. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize a few important delegates for gracing this occasion with their presence. From Pakistan, His Excellency Syed Yusuf Raza Gilani. From Sri Lanka, His Excellency Maitripala Sirisena. From Palau, His Excellency Johnson Toribio. From Nepal, His Excellency Parmananja. From India, Honorable Ajay Dut. From Cambodia, His Excellency Dr. Singh Somoni and His Excellency Cheng Vanarith. From Thailand, Honorable Dr. Chayong Sachipanon. From India, Ambassador Krishna Rajan. Honorable Eknath Dekal, Dr. Robert Kittel, Mr. Damian Zankli, and Mr. Masaichi Hori, who is joining via Zoom. Members of the Parliament, religious leaders and business leaders, academicians, distinguished guests, ambassadors for peace, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Assalamualaikum. Ayubuan, Ongil Tuto, Annyeonghaseyo, Ohayo gozaimasu, Namaste, Sawadee-kap, Arun Susunday, Magandang umaga po, and welcome to the second day of our International Leadership Conference for Asia Pacific, being hosted here in BGC, Taguig, City of the Philippines, with the theme, Toward Peace and Security on the Korean Peninsula, creating a global culture of peace. Before I introduce our session 5 moderators, let me give a few guidelines to our speakers and commentators to prevent any delay with our succeeding sessions. Our main speaker shall deliver within 10-minute time and commentators within 3-minute mark. We shall show you the time cards indicating the remainder of your allotted time. And now, Your Excellencies, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, to start with our first 5th session, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our session keynote speaker, President of Asian Vision Institute of Cambodia. Let's welcome on stage Dr. Cheng Vanarith. Welcome on stage, sir. Similarly, we would like to welcome member of the Legislative Assembly of Delhi, India, Honorable Ajay Dut. Swagatam, sir. Now, let's welcome from Australia, Chairman of Center for Global Non-Killing and Founder Chairman of Global Knowledge Alliance, Australia. Let's welcome Professor Dr. Anup Swarup. Similarly, let's welcome the co-chair of Universal Peace Federation in Asia Pacific, Dr. Venus Agustin. Similarly, let's welcome on stage board member of the 2nd District of Bohol, House of Representatives, Province of Bohol. Let's welcome Honorable board member of 2nd District of Bohol. Let's welcome Honorable Lucille Yap Lagunay. And now for our moderator for this 5th session, let's welcome the Sub-Regional Director of Universal Peace Federation, Mekong Region, Mr. Hajime Saito. And now I would like to introduce our moderator. He is born in Japan and currently working based in Cambodia, married with Miss Jarurin Saito from Thailand. They have 12-year-old daughter and 2 sons, 8 and 4 years old. He finished his Bachelor of Arts in Theology and North Korean study at Sunmun University in South Korea. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the Sub-Regional Director of UPF in Mekong Region, Mr. Hajime Saito.
Very much for Professor Richo for introducing myself. Good. This regional conference is going on for both online and offline. In this Grand Hyatt Manila Hotel in Philippines with 120 delegates from 19 countries. And also we have the 324 participants online, for those who are joining online from 31 countries. Good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the first session of the Seoul resolution and its relevance to Asia Pacific region. As it was already introduced yesterday morning session, Seoul Declaration is a peace declaration toward the sustainable peace and prosperity on Korean Peninsula, which was declared February 13, 2022, at the time of the World Summit 2022. Seoul Declaration wasn't happen all of a sudden, but it was made on the basis of the enormous efforts, historical efforts from the several nations in all over Asia. One of the first fruit efforts bear at the Kathmandu, Nepal during the Asia Pacific Summit 2018. Those head of states from the Asia Pacific nation, those who love and practice peace, address their values in critical challenging time. In next year, in 2019, at the closing banquet time of the Asia Pacific Summit in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, it was announced by the Phnom Penh Declaration, initiated by the Mother Hakchahamun of UPF and Somdach Akamaha Senapadei Padai Techo Hun Sen of Prime Minister of Cambodia. Based on Phnom Penh Declaration, it was continued the action of the World Summit 2022 in Seoul, in spite of passing through the difficulties of the COVID pandemic period at September 12, 2021. Think Tank 2022 Asia Pacific Secretariat was launched at Phnom Penh, Cambodia, through signing MOU between Asia Vision Institute, AVI, and Universal Peace Federation, UPF, by strengthening the ecosystem of peace in the Asia Pacific region. So for this session, I would like to invite that Dr. Chen Wanarit. He is the keynote speaker, president of AVI, Asia Vision Institute. Dr. Chen Wanarit is a public policy analyst, government relation strategist, and partnership building strategist. He has over 13 years working at the various think tank, universities, public institutions, international organizations, and private corporations. Wow. Maybe he's the smartest man in Cambodia. And he was honored Young Global Leader by World Economic Forum in 2013. Currently, he is serving as the president at the Asian Vision Institute, chairman of the Advisory Council of the National Assembly of Cambodia, advisor to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Cambodia, and adjunct lecturer at the Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. He received his PhD in Asia Pacific Studies from the Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University in Japan, Master in the International Relations from the International University of Japan, Graduate Certificate in Leadership from East-West Center in United States, and Bachelor in the International Relations from the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam. Let's welcome Dr. Chen Wanarit with a big round of applause.
Thank you very much, Hajime-san. It's my great honor and pleasure to be here and humble to share my perspective with distinguished participants today from across the world. So this is a long journey that we have embarked on together with the Universal Peace Federation. So 2019, we kind of have this big event in Phnom Penh, and Hajime-san was the moderator, convener of that Asia Pacific Summit back in 2019. And at that time, we have a Phnom Penh Declarations. I'm not sure whether you're aware of that Phnom Penh Declaration. You can refer to the website. And in that declaration, it mentioned the establishment of Asia Pacific Union. It was the first time, I think after Nagoya meeting with, when Mother Moon went to Japan, so to show this kind of interest, how can we build Asia Pacific Union? So that is the talk of today. I'm going to share the historical background a bit on that and my personal perspective on how can we realize Asia Pacific Union. So look at the region, the current state of the Asia Pacific regions. Well, now a lot of people talk about Indo-Pacific, but I prefer to use the word Asia Pacific because it's more inclusive. And Indo-Pacific is more geostrategic concept rather than economic, cultural, social cultural concepts. So this is the region we are living in this stage of the time at the current moment. Complex interdependence. We are so much interconnected, interdependence, that's why it's very difficult to divide us. So even though there are several attempts to decouple, you know, we call it decoupling strategy, but in reality, I think perhaps it's impossible to decouple or to separate us. So that is the complex interdependence that we have nurtured over the decades, and it's hard to separate our regions. We face a lot of challenges and dilemmas, especially with regards to geopolitical competition in this region, especially between the United States and China. And one of the worrisome concerns at this stage is the visit of the speakers of the US to Taiwan that may trigger a direct confrontation, military confrontation between the US and China. So you could imagine if there's direct military confrontation between the US and China over the Taiwan, then the war, large-scale war, will hit these regions. It's much more serious than the war in Ukraine. So the aircraft carrier have been positioned in the Asia-Pacific region. So wait and see the development of this competition, because this is what the US called decisive decade. Who is the winner and loser will be decided within this decade. So we are living in a very dangerous decade. So in the next 5 to 10 years from now. Multiplicity of actors. Yesterday we talked about multi-sectoralism, multi-stakeholder partnership. So that is a strength for peace and stability in this region, because we don't solely rely on the state actor, but increasingly we also need the participation of the non-state actors. So the UPF movement, this kind of peace movement, is part of the non-state actor, right? So growing role of this non-state actor, this kind of movement, multinational companies, grassroots community, because peace at the end of the day is depend on the behavior and the perceptions and worldview of every individual at the grassroots level. So these multiple actors, multiplicity of actors can have promote this holistic kind of foundation of peace and stability. Interconnected issues, we cannot separate any issue from each other. Look at the pandemic crisis, how it affects socio-economic well-being of the people, how it affects security. Look at the war in Ukraine, how it affects food security, energy security, and so on. Climate change, how it affects almost everything. You know, now we have the concept of climate change, climate security, and so on, or water security, energy security nexus. So all these non-traditional security threats are very interconnected. That we need to provide a kind of holistic solution to those issues. But the problem, unfortunately, we have fragmented response. Look at how we respond to the COVID-19 in the early phase. very fragmented across the world, across the region. So if we were united at the time, at the early stage of the COVID-19, perhaps we were much better in addressing this than what a lot of people suffer, a lot of victims of the pandemic. Now we also have fragmented response to climate change, right? Even though we have Paris Agreement climate change, but when it comes to implementation, I think we are still fragmented. And we are fragmented on many issues, including the Myanmar issue, for instance. Within ASEAN, we don't have a united position on that. So this is a problem. Also, how we can be more united, more coherent, cohesive in terms of our response to emerging challenges. So the Asia-Pacific region is, 10 years ago, when we talk about the 21st century, we refer to the word Asia-Pacific century or Asian century, right? Okay, so 2008. So this is a bit historical background that there were attempts at the time, 2008, because of the global financial crisis in the US and spread to Eurozone crisis and so on. And in this region, there's some movement, initiative to strengthen regional integrations. So Kevin Rudd, the then Prime Minister of Australia, proposed this concept of Asia-Pacific community, but it failed after 2 years of the initiative because the lack of inclusive consultations. So that's why the process of Asia-Pacific Union that I'm going to discuss, it is very inclusive. Take it slow. It's not state-centric, but it's multi-stakeholder approach. So that's why I think I'm very optimistic that perhaps gradually we can realize our dream, the Asia-Pacific Union. So this is Phnom Penh Declaration. So this is the whole kind of a quotation for those who are not familiar with the Phnom Penh Declaration. So I would like to read this, the whole paragraph of that Phnom Penh Declaration. But Hajime-san was the convener of that summit. So the summit called for a bold new regional vision for a community of Asia-Pacific Union nations, a government and civil society partnership to create an Asia-Pacific Union characterized by a social and cultural renaissance that builds on a strong filial bonds prevalent in Asian societies. So that is the statement, the whole paragraph in that Phnom Penh Declaration 2019. So the key words here is the partnership between civil society and the government. So this is unique, different from Kevin Rudd with his state-centric. And in the Seoul Declaration 2022, again, also have a reference to the Asia-Pacific Union. This is the phrase, two kind of paragraph in the Seoul Declaration. Work together to realize the Asia-Pacific Union, which was adopted at the Asia-Pacific Summit in Phnom Penh, and the principle of M4P2, mutual respect, mutual understanding, mutual trust, and mutual interest for peace and prosperity. After listening to the conversation dialogue yesterday, I've come up with this is the principle, and I come up with a strategic approach toward this vision of Asia-Pacific Union. Also M4P2, but first M is multi-sectoral, multilateralism. Second M is multi-sectoral partnership or multi-stakeholder partnership. The third M is multi kind of dimensional cooperation to address the challenges. And another M is this kind of mutual kind of integration, mutual prosperity, as kind of in the principle of UPF, mutual prosperity. For proactivity, so we need to be more proactivity and practicality, because if we want to implement what we say, it's not just a talk show, but we have to implement what we have promised and committed. So that is the initiative, and I would like to conclude with this Mekong Asia Pacific Initiative, which is a mechanism to realize the Asia Pacific Union. And my institute is working on this concept, Mekong Asia Pacific Initiative now. And we're working on the Universal Peace Charter. Yesterday, some of our distinguished speakers mentioned about Peace Charter. So the full name is Universal Peace Charter. We are going to the final state of zero draft, and we will submit it for further discussion at the Seoul Summit. And we perhaps adopt it in 2015. So we still have about 2 years more for consultations to develop this Universal Peace Charter. And the International Parliamentary for Peace and Tolerance will be the key mechanism. And hopefully we will submit to the United Nations General Assembly afterwards. So this is a long journey, and we start from here today and Seoul next month, further discuss to give input. We work closely with UPF and Think Tank 2022 in order to develop this Universal Peace Charter. It will complement to the UN Charter. We doesn't want to compete with the UN, but this is a mechanism to complement with the UN Charter by bringing multi-stakeholder approach. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chen Wanarit. Please give another big round of applause. Yeah, when I hear your presentation, I remember we make the discussion for the hours and hours and hours in order to make for this Phnom Penh Declaration. And then I'm really grateful that all this effort is not happening in one day, but also on the foundation to work with the Mr. President in Palau with the long cooperation together with UPF. And I'm really grateful to Prime Minister from Sri Lanka that actually he's a good friend with the Prime Minister. And we are all really exciting for this new journey. And also he's mentioning about the Indo-Pacific. And now we have the right commentator from India. I would like to introduce for this commentator from India, Honorable Ajay Dutt, member of the Legislative Assembly, Delhi, Chair AAPP Delhi NCR, India. So I know you have many things to talk about. Please summarize within 3 minutes, and it will be more exciting. Okay, so please welcome Dr. Dutt with a big, Honorable Dutt with a big round of applause.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Honorable Eknath Dhakalji, Asia Chairperson of UPF, Dr. Kittal, President Denklin, all the delegates, UPF leader, peacemakers, ladies and gentlemen. I would start with a quote of Mother Moon. Mother Moon said in her biography that with neither fear nor anger, my husband and I prayed for conciliation between North and South Korea. We were not responsible for the division of Korean Peninsula, but we took responsibility for its peaceful reunification. We have always felt that ending the conflict of Korean Peninsula would turn the world toward peace. So that is the statement of Mother Moon. Now, the Seoul resolution is a product of recent concluded World Summit 2022 under the leadership of a great peace leader, Mother Moon, is endorsed by the Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Sen, and two-time General Secretary Ban Ki-moon, and supported by more than 80% and former leader of the state and the government, which is a big world level summit and acceptance of the peace summit of Seoul resolution. This is called the century of Asian, and the peace in Asia is crucial for global peace and harmony. It is only conceivable if there is a peace in Northeast Asia, and to be very precise, in Korean Peninsula. Since the division of Korean Peninsula, it is very unique, and there is a persistent need for reunification. And I really admire the peace leader in the world that they are making consistent effort to make peace in the Korean Peninsula. And it is very, very important because these two countries are actually representing the whole world. If you look at the past, if you look at their history, 1950 onwards. Therefore, I am completely astonished by Father and Mother Moon life commitment to this global cause of reunification of Korean Peninsula. The full reunification of the Korean Peninsula resolution have 17 points, but I think all are very important. In my opinion, the promote multi-sectoral development framework to enhance food security and public health cooperation between the Korean Peninsula and the Mekong region is very, very important, because the whole world is watching that as to how it will take place, and work towards the realization of the Asia Pacific Union, APU, which has adopted at the Asia Pacific Summit in 2019 through the Mekong Asia Pacific Initiative. Reform the principle of mutual respect, mutual understanding, mutual trust is the kind of correlation and exchange of mutual business relationship, mutual interest to create peace and prosperity, which we call as a M4P2. And the promotion of international order based on the UN Charter and international law. So this all is established, which is also given in the all 17 points of resolution. The establishment and a partnership committed and consistent, which is of the think tank advice which happened in 2022. Another stakeholder to carry out an action, the action plan, the peace project, and also the contribution to the realization of sustainable peace, prosperity, and the progress in Korean Peninsula. I would just say a few things. If we look at the human history, time to time, God Almighty sends the great people on the earth to save humanity and human being. I really appreciate Mother Moon, who is one of the greatest women leader. I quote, she is one of the greatest women leader of human history, whom God has sent as the first divine daughter, who is making tireless effort to address concern of the Korean Peninsula and restore peace, not only just for Korean Peninsula, but also for the rest of the world. And the whole world should support this historical Korean Peninsula resolution for the peace of Asia and for humanity. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Mother Moon and also to all the peace leaders of UPF all over the world. And I thank you all, and I request all of you to please applaud and give a round of applause to all the peace leaders of the world who has been part of this great resolution to save not only Korea but also to the world. Thank you very much, and namaste.
Thank you very much, Honorable, that I give you the applause to you. Thank you for your, please give the big round of applause. Thank you very much that we can really feel that the connection from the Indo-Pacific. And I'm really grateful to Mr. Vice President of Nepal. Like all these things happen because of the Nepal summit. Thank you very much. And we are really grateful to meet you. And then next commentator will be the Professor Dr. Arnob Swarap. And then because the Dr. Chanwanirith is talking about that this proposed from the Asia Pacific Committee is starting from 2008 by Australia. So we have the right person as a commentator. Please welcome Professor Swarap.
Mabuhay, greetings and namaskar to the very distinguished and eminent guests, both on the floor and on the dais. I am mindful of the time card, so I'll have to rush. One thing which I thought I should mention, but at the outset, my homage to a great soul, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. His assassination on 5th of July was a very, I would say, shocking event. And that brought us to the realization that we face an increasingly dangerous and killing world. I am the chairman of the Center for Global Non-Killing, headquartered in Hawaii. And I thought in this short time, maybe I'll take a minute just to introduce it to the Center for Global Non-Killing. It was set up in 1968 by Nobel laureates. And the whole idea was that we should promote a world of non-violence. And this was known as Center for Global Non-Violence. But in 2010, Professor Glendy Page, who was himself a Korean War veteran, and he felt very strongly that instead of non-violence, it is non-killing, which we should strive to achieve. Because non-killing is not only focused, but also targetable, and it is achievable. I should mention that there is nothing more important in our world than the life itself. And if we are focused on human lives to start with, then we can save our world and our societies and our countries and the whole globe from future wars. One interesting finding at the Center for Global Non-Killing, there are 800 scholars is that only 0.5% of humans have actually killed in the entire human recorded history, which is 5,000 years. And that can bring us to the stark realization that humans by nature do not kill. Then what is the problem? The problem is that we have encouraged a world of politics, be it the Koreas, the Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and now Ukraine. We are promoting walls of, these are the walls where we promote not only dissuasion, also we promote mutual dislike, disrespect. And I should tell that most of the religions in our world, most, I would say all, they promote a non-killing world. So now is the time, and I will come straight to Article 99 of the UN Charter, where it is possible for North and South Korea to sit down. And at the Center for Global Non-Killing, we had requested, we had called for a 6-party negotiation. And incidentally, all of them are now with the UN. I'm talking of not only the 6 parties, but also President Biden and also the Chinese premier, the Chinese chairman. They can sit down and promote a call where we have a world of better understanding and we have a non-killing world where both the Koreas unite. A little time back, we were talking of a multiplex region, which is the Asian region, particularly the Oceanic region. And I can recall I had a meeting with Kevin Rudd. And before that, I had met Moon because I was working with the United Nations, and General Secretary Ban Ki-moon had a detailed discussion on the Koreas. And he was very keen that both the Koreas unite and we promote a peace process. But that was not to be. Now I'll come straight to the Sustainable Development Goal 16.1. It's very much possible for us to have a world where we promote non-violence, non-killing, unification, and before I end, I'll come straight to the UNESCO Charter, because it states that the constructs of war are in the minds of men. So the bridges of peace have to be built in our minds, in human mind itself. And that is where we at the Center for Global Non-Killing have promoted a global non-killing index on the lines of Global Peace Index. This global non-killing index has revealed that in the last few years, we are increasingly promoting a society which is killing. And that brings us to the final construct which I have promoted, and that is affirmative non-killing. That is to build the processes, the establishment, the procedures, starting from the schooling of our children, where we promote our non-killing, non-violent, value-added mindset in our own youngsters, so that we have a world which is peaceful, which is non-killing. I won't take much time, but again, I would like to particularly thank the Universal Peace Foundation, the Universal Peace Federation and Mother Moon. They have done a commendable job for the last few decades. And I compliment them as I thank all of you. Already have given a round of applause, but I'll again request to applaud each and every individual sitting here, because you're all peace proponents. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Swarap, the global chairman, chair center of the Global Non-Killing and founder of Chairman Global Knowledge Alliance. Yeah. It is really powerful for your message, because all this knowledge is coming from your experience, or all our experience. And because yesterday also the Excellency Sensamoni was mentioning about background of the Phnom Penh Declaration is coming to overcoming our experience through the winning strategy. So it was, the knowledge come from the experience, so we need to overcome for that. Thank you very much. And next, I would like to invite Dr. Venus Augustine. He's a co-chair of UPF Asia Pacific, and also he's my master for martial arts. So let's hear my master's wisdom. So let's welcome the Dr. Venus Augustine with a big round of applause.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hashimi, my friend. To the excellencies, to the respected panelists, my dear colleagues, brothers and sisters, good morning. Yeah. So I was given to give a comment on the keynote speaker, and I was really impressed by his presentations. First of all, I would like to really mention the reason why we are here. The founders, the late Reverend Dr. San Myang Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, the founders of the Universal Peace Federation, really provided a roadmap for world peace. If you look at our, you have all this brochure, right? In the UPF Principles of Peace, I don't have to go into the details, but you can read. This is the reason why we are here. Why we are moving and ceasingly promoting these universal principles of peace. In line with the speech of Dr. Cheng Vaneres from the Asian Vision Institute, which is actually the think tank of the government of Cambodia under Prime Minister Hun Sen. And in partnership, signed an MOU with the Universal Peace Federations, mentioned a very important message and related to the establishment of the Asia Pacific Union, which is a very ambitious goal, right? It may not be easy, but at least it was declared and adopted. And also the most striking part that he mentioned about the M4P2. The M4P2 has been reiterated by my friend from India, and also the support of non-killing, right? That's an amazing statement. I hope there will be no killings after this message. The M4P2 is a very good, proposal. And I really appreciate that statement. He elaborated into the details of that. And I hope that you can look into it. And it was actually put it in the Seoul resolutions towards sustainable peace and prosperity on the Korean Peninsula. You can read and review. I don't have to go into details and repeat because of time. So with that, I do believe that with the statement and presentation by Dr. Banarit is suffice enough for us to really take into heart all this statement. May God bless everyone, and I hope that this will not be the end of our meetings, but it will be the beginning of further collaboration and partnership. Good morning.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Venus, that he's also the martial arts instructor and my master, Master Venus. And then let's bring it. So this is not the end, this is a beginning. And with this, all our statement that really bringing for our land, from the dead land to the life land to the heavenly land. So this is a really meaningful. And then I would like to introduce for the fourth commentator, Honorable Lucille Langunai. Is that correct, my pronunciation? Oh, she is the board member of the first district of Bohol, Philippines. So I'm very happy to have the woman commentator. So please welcome Honorable Langunai.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, the Honorable Ekmak Dakal and his lady, Dr. Robert Kittle and his lady, esteemed peace advocates around the world, good morning. The Seoul Resolution signed in February 2022 recognizes the initiative to finally and permanently put an end to an unresolved war, a war left hanging in the ceasefire, instead of a total stoppage of hostilities. Indeed, the after effects of the Korean War is like a gaping wound which refuses to heal after all these years. And I am only beginning to understand how Koreans from both sides of the divide really want to close and mend the cut once and for all and be free from the throbbing pain. As a citizen of another country who growing up only read about the Korean War in history books, and now as a public servant, read about the continuing tension from international news reports. As one who lives hundreds of miles away from the Korean peninsula, I did not fully grasp the yearning, the seriousness of the desire to unite the North and South until I read the Seoul Resolution, attended this forum, and heard the presentations of our distinguished speakers. And I just realized how this global effort to reunite the two Koreas could impact other countries, such as my own, the Philippines, which also has its share of internal conflicts within its borders. Indeed, to successfully reunite the two Koreas, the leadership of both sides must abandon the doctrine of peace through strength and instead aim to achieve strength through peace. A peaceful reunification of Korea will be an inspiration for other countries, not just in the Asia-Pacific region, which our distinguished gentleman from Cambodia, Dr. Vanarit earlier mentioned, is a complex region, but throughout the world, hopefully including the situation between Ukraine and Russia. The Seoul Resolution impresses me for its clear and simple language, but determined and holistic approach. No to use of weapons, yes to constructive dialogue, build trust, two Koreans prospering together, integrating to the region, promoting the concept, two states towards one nation, one people, one culture. There is one more thing we need to acknowledge. Coming from different races and culture, we share a commonality of a belief of the divine providence that affects the course of our lives and shapes the destiny of nations. Thus, even as we exert human efforts to attain peace and and unity. Let us all together invoke divine intervention in accordance with our respective faiths to grant our aspirations. Our God answers prayers. Although, as what Dr. Vannereith mentioned earlier, we have fragmented responses, the adoption of the Seoul Resolution will show the world that nonviolence is the best option. As the international community continues to push for peaceful solutions, I believe both sides will finally see the light and be equally committed to achieve lasting peace. And as a citizen of the world, I commit to be a champion of peace, starting in my own community, Bohol, Philippines. A peaceful morning, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Languai. That pleased to meet you. This is the first time for me to see you, but I know you because of your work with Dr. Kittel in Bohol. And thank you very much. And now your insight is really connecting this Asia Pacific to the Korean Peninsula. And then this is the truly starting point that we are contributing for the peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula to all over the world. Thank you very much. So now I would like to have some opportunity for the interactive session in here. So I would like to ask from all of you, if you have some comment or question, please raise your hand and then you can give some comment. And then please try to summarize within 1 minute. Then we can have more opportunity to listen from each other. So those who have comment or question, whatever, please raise your hand. Anyone else who have the comment? Okay, please. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Commissioner by Norhata Alonto, a Muslim, a Mindanaoan. And the Muslims in the audience will agree with me that in Islam, the best and the highest form of ideals and ideas is for a person to achieve peace with his environment, peace with his common fellows, peace with himself, and peace with his creator. I am very lucky, and I would like to thank you for this opportunity, for giving me this chance to be heard. I was quite desperate yesterday because I was thinking there will be no participative portion of this conference. Alhamdulillah, may I suggest, Confucius said, keep on moving, no matter how slow. Just keep moving. I would like to say to the Universal Peace Federation, to the ILC, and to the Asia Pacific Universal Peace Federation, and all the attendees, all the delegates, all the distinguished speakers, to please push for peace. Because in South Korea and North Korea, because I am a Muslim, and you know that I belong to this sector that is always misunderstood, always labeled as a terrorist. And we have always been challenged, but never mind. We always look at the brighter side of life. Let us not stop doing this. Thank you to Dr. Moon, to Mrs. Moon, and to all the very wonderful, good-spirited individuals who are attending this kind of forum. Let's not stop. Let's move on until South Korea and North Korea gets united. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. It is a really meaningful message from all the way from Mindanao. Anyone else? Anyone else who have the comment? Okay, please.
Yeah, I would like to read my comment from my cell phone. The pursuit of peace in the whole wide world, more particularly in the Korean Peninsula, has always been imperative on the part of God's people. Jesus Christ, our Lord, as the Prince of Peace, has exemplified for us what it means to pursue peace. And as His people, we deem it urgent to pursue peace in our borders and everywhere. ILC 2022 has proven to be a major step in the right direction, for it has raised a greater awareness for all of us ambassadors of peace to sustain our relentless pursuit of peace in our personal lives, in our respective families, and everywhere. As advocates of peace, we are duty-bound to influence the various sectors in our society to be a great part in this agenda of peacemaking. Our purpose is clear and explicit, that we want to ultimately create and establish a culture of peace in every part of our community, both locally and universally. And I'm aware that peace must start with me, but I must draw my personal peace from the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ our Lord. I have come to the ultimate decision that I will always be a part of UPF because it has sounded a prophetic call to all that there is only one thing to pursue in life, and that is peace. Shalom to us all.
Thank you very much for your precious comment. So now I would like one more. Okay, one more.
Hello. Mabuhay. I prepared a reflection of this ILC 2022, and I would like to read. Toward peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula, creating a global culture of peace. His Excellencies from participating nations, religious leaders, NGOs, academicians, and all leaders from different sectors, good morning. The UPF, founded by Reverend Sun Young Moon and Hak Ha-jan Moon, is now a pillar of global journey for the culture of peace and development. With our 2 days ILC conference from July 30 to 31, 2022 at this Grand Hyatt Manila as the venue of the conference have paved the way for the following: human social relation to flourish and nurtured for universal peace through love and living for the sake of others. The goal of reunification of North and South Korea may present an elusive dream. However, with UPF, it's opened a door, finding ways and means to harmonize the prospect of reunification with the solidarity of all nations and positive communications. As of the present, bridging and engaging peace initiative with a community of political leaders of all democratic countries can make peace a culture for development strategy. The Mindanaoans participating this conference, who came from different faith-based organizations, entirely believe that when we return back to our beloved Mindanao Island, we'll strengthen our interfaith council, sustain the culture of peace, and we experience now after the Little War or the Marawi siege in Mindanao in the previous years. On the other hand, the dream of reunification of North and South Korea, which in the beginning before World War II were united in origin, its human history, be in culture, political, economic, and social aspect. Because of the 30th parallel, they were divided and become two nations with opposite or extreme human ideology. Forcing them to become one is to humanize the Korean history and be back where it started. From here, our journey is continued. The issue of the culture of peace expanded to become global, international, and national and local challenge. Without peace, we could never be human and live as God wanted us to be, to live in his own image. Lastly, it humbled us to see the difference, why we are here, why we were chosen. Thank you, UPF, leaders of Asia and the Pacific, for your vision of reunification of North and South. Korea is now a step over to the world where a group of people like us who wanted change for a better world to live by is now in our hands as community builders for peace initiative. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much for your precious reflection and comment. So now I would like to conclude for this session of session 5. Thank you very much for Dr. Wanarit and also our commentators. Thank you all and thank you, please.
Thank you. Let us give a round of applause to our session 5 speakers, commentators, and moderator. Dr. Vanarith from Cambodia, Honorable Dut from India, Professor Dr. Swarup from Australia, Dr. Agustin from the Philippines, and Honorable Lagunay from Bohol province of the Philippines. Let us take this opportunity to have a photo. Oh, and now let's give a round of applause to our session 5 speaker, commentators, and moderators. Thank you to all our participants on site and online for your attentive participation. We would like to take this opportunity to recognize the presence of the following distinguished excellencies for gracing our first session in the morning. From Sri Lanka, His Excellency Maithripala Sirisena. Let's give a round of applause. From Palau, Honorable His Excellency Johnson Toribio. Thank you, sir. From Nepal, His Excellency Parmanand Jha. And from India, former Ambassador Krishna Rajan. Of course, we have our Honorable Eknath Dakal, Dr. Robert Kittel, Mr. Demian Dunkley, and Mr. Mai Saichi Hori, who's joining us via Zoom. And of course, we would like to take this opportunity to recognize the presence of former Cabinet Secretary, Attorney Salvador Panelo, the past immediate presidential and legal counsel of President Rodrigo Duterte. And also, we would like to recognize the presence of our TV and radio Philippine government broadcast journalist, Mr. Aljo Pendijo. Welcome, sir. Now, time check. It's 10:50. We're going to have a 15-minute break. So let us have a coffee break. Please be back here in the hall at 11:05. 11:05. And those who are joining us online, please enjoy your coffee break at home or in your office. Thank you very much. See you at 11:05. Please enjoy your coffee break. Thank you. Also, if somebody lost a piece of their earring, kindly approach in front, approach me. We have lost and found a piece of an earring. Thank you. Similarly, if you have lost anything, if you want to announce, kindly just send me a slip, piece of paper, so I may announce. So we might find what you lost. Time check, it's 10:52 Manila time, 10:52 in the morning Manila time. We'll be back in the hall at 11:05. Thank you. Time check, it's at 10:55 in the morning. We have 10 minutes before we're going to proceed with our second session for today. You may take your coffee or tea or your snack from outside, and you may bring it back to the hall. We can have a working snack. Thank you. See you in 10 minutes. Thank you. Time check, it's 6 minutes before our next session. We would like to request our distinguished guest who are still outside. You may bring your snack inside. We can have a working snack. Also, we would like to announce those who are interested for our international participants. Note, for our international participants who are interested in sightseeing, kindly go to our secretariat table. Kindly register your name for a city tour. We have arranged a package for your tour around the city. Kindly register your name in the secretariat just outside the hall. Again, for those international participants who are interested in joining our sightseeing, kindly go to our secretariat table and register your name for a sightseeing in the city. Time check, it's 5 minutes before our next session. We would like to remind everyone to kindly slowly enter the hall now. You may bring your snack. You may eat your snack. We can have a working snack this time. You may bring your snack inside the hall. Last 5 minutes before we commence our session 6. Our session 6 will be interesting. We have distinguished speakers, commentators, and we have a very interesting topic. It's entitled Achieving Sustainable Peace and Development in Asia, in the Asia Pacific, a multilateral challenges and opportunities. We would like to announce that we have Lost and Found. We're projecting now on the screen. So if you have lost something displayed on the screen, kindly approach any of our staff. We'll be happy to help you if we have found your stuff. Thank you, and please take good care of your stuff. We have lost and found a piece of an earring. Whoever is the rightful owner, kindly approach us in front. Kindly approach me. It's on our table. Thank you. Time check, it's 3 minutes. Last 3 minutes before we will begin with our next session. Thank you. Time check. Time check. It's 11:04. 11:04. If you're still outside the hall, we would like to request you, Your Excellencies, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, if you are online via YouTube, Facebook, or Zoom, kindly turn on your camera now. If you are in Zoom or you're in Facebook or YouTube, kindly be online now. We'll begin in a moment. We would like to request our coordinators to kindly usher in our distinguished participants who are still outside. You may bring your snack inside the hall. We can have a working snack this time. Feel free to bring your snack inside the hall. We just want to take this opportunity to double check with our next session members of the panel, members of our table. We have Ambassador KV Rajan. Yes, thank you, sir. We have Attorney Salvador Panelo. Thank you, sir. And Dr. Jessica Wijaja. Are you around, ma'am? Yes, thank you. And Dr. Ahmed Toho. Yes, thank you. And Dr. Bernadette Pushpanjali. All right, she's still outside. We would like to call Dr. Bernadette Pushpanjali. You're outside, kindly come inside. We'll begin in a moment. Also, Mr. Krishna Chandra Jha. Yes, thank you, sir. Time check, it's 11:06. We are 1 minute over time. You are still outside. We humbly request you to kindly enter the hall now. You may bring your snack. We can have a working snack this time. We will begin once we have our Dr. Pushpanjali inside the hall. Can somebody please usher in our Dr. Pushpanjali, Bernadette Pushpanjali from Fiji? Ma'am, are you here? We would like to begin our next session very soon so that we can have our lunch meal on time. Dr. Bernadette Pushpanjali, are you around? Dr. Pushpanjali? Oh, yes. Thank you, ma'am. We'll begin soon. To our distinguished participants who are still outside, those who are online, we would like to request you to please return to your seats. Those on site, kindly enter the hall now, and those online, kindly join us now. We'll begin soon.